Hello, guys. After years of the so called escalation management and lots of polite, or can I say honestly, weak messages coming from the NATO officials, NATO finally warns Russia it will strike Kaliningrad if GPS radars jamming causes an aviation crash. Here I have another question. Why wait until innocent people suffer in another aviation crash caused by Russian military activity? We all know, at least since 2022, it's one of Russia's favorite hobbies, jamming NATO airspace. And I'm sorry, that is very illegal. Kaliningrad is super important both for Russia and for the security and future of Europe. Because many of those experts who agree that Russia may try and attack NATO countries just this year say that one of the hottest and most dangerous areas is actually around Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad is not inside the Russian Federation. It is surrounded by Poland and Lithuania, and many consider Russians can try and attack this Suwalki Gap. And actually, for years, Russians already practice these attacks by jamming the airspace. This is the war of the 21st century. Do not always wait or fear tanks, armored vehicles. Watch for these hybrid operations like jamming, like, hackers attacks, like problems with electricity or drones in the airspace of NATO countries. It actually happened already numerous times. So let's discuss why this new tone of voice is so important. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, and that is obviously the only working peace plan, subscribe and please share these videos to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. This is the war of the 21st century, and for me, a Ukrainian, sometimes it's pretty sad to watch how many NATO countries keep preparing for the Second World War. They keep buying expensive armored vehicles, tanks, all of these are good, but trust me, with drones, with artificial intelligence, with drones now operating in swarms, it will take a couple of minutes, maybe hours, to destroy a huge part of this heavy armored stuff. And in the 21st century, it's about technologies, it's about GPS technologies, it's about jamming, it's about AI, it's about literally robots. There are cases when Russian soldiers surrendered to Ukrainian robots, and I like it. I do like it. And I like that NATO has changed its tone of voice when speaking about this Russian very obvious violations. What I don't understand is why, when knowing they are responsible for this jamming of GPS radars, and this can have very serious consequences, they keep warning but not doing. Well, there are a number of ways to stop these jammers from working. And it's pretty legal, understanding that they interfere into this NATO airspace. When was this moment in modern history when strong, well-armored, trained countries lost their bravery, lost their understanding of reality? And that was actually the moment when Putin sensed he can attack Georgia, Ukraine. He underestimated the will of the Ukrainian people. But sometimes some of our allies act in the way Putin expects them to. And I'm happy that by watching my videos, by getting updates from the Ukrainian front lines, by understanding that a drone can reach literally anywhere, and there are different ways to stop drones from attacking, various jammers, once again, that also work with drones, how important internet technologies are, can mobile technologies be involved in the warfare, and many other things. More and more of you, citizens of your countries, realize the war of the 21st century is different. And by helping Ukraine, by learning from Ukraine, by talking to your politicians, you actually defend the future of your countries way better than by investing in armored vehicles. Do you remember our spiderweb operation? It took literally a couple of hours to wipe out 1/3 of Russia's strategic aviation. And I'm sure you want to like this video at this very moment, because we keep demilitarizing Russia even when our partners and allies doubt. And please subscribe if you're new, join the community. We are friendly, smart people here who stand for the truth. So, Russia is responsible for a lot of war crimes and a lot of aviation crashes. We all remember MH17 tragedy and how long it took to hold Russia accountable. Actually, it's just the legal decision that is so important, and to be able to deliver this justice to the responsible people inside the Russian Federation, we actually once again need to implement the only working strategy to defeat the Kremlin. So that's important not just for Ukrainians, that's important for a lot of people around the world. A similar accident took place in Azerbaijan with Azerbaijan Airlines in Chechnya. Russians do not want to close their airspace, even though it's a long time to do so, with constant collapses of their airports and Ukrainian drones that keep visiting different locations to once again demilitarize evil things. Maybe one beautiful day we will destroy their jammers that interfere into NATO airspace. And actually NATO, strong, way stronger and richer than Russia alliance, should have destroyed these jammers the very first second they used them against you. Kaliningrad is actually Königsberg and belong to Germany. And some other countries may claim anyway, lots of other countries are more connected to Königsberg, now Kaliningrad, than Russia. And Russia needs it to threaten NATO countries, to threaten the Baltics, to threaten Poland. And it's not connected to the rest of Russia or Belarus. And that's why they want to create this corridor by invading Suwalki Gap. I don't say it will happen tomorrow, though it's very, very likely. And once again, from this experienced Ukrainian perspective, I often worry when I read how NATO experts predict that Russia can attack in 3 or 5 years, so they have 2 years to rearm. Just put yourself for a second, I know it's going to be a very difficult experience, but just for a second, imagine yourself, Putin. Would you give your enemies 2 or 3 years to rearm, or knowing that the White House is pretty chaotic, that a lot of EU leaders keep practicing escalation management, have doubts, Orban is in Hungary, he may lose his powers really soon. So, I mean, all of this context, and many countries not prepared for the attack, lots of NATO members doubting whether they will involve in a conflict far away from their borders. So would you give people 2 or 5 years, or maybe? That's how I feel as a Ukrainian. I feel it's very likely that they can test NATO, for example, in Kaliningrad, around Kaliningrad, in Suwalki Gap, or elsewhere. And once again, those people who expect tanks driving, thousands of Russian soldiers moving, are making a great mistake. I know they are super busy on the front lines here, and you are right when you think that Russian soldiers, while busy in Ukraine, will not move to Poland or to the Baltics. But they can use other ways, and they actually plan to use other ways. And when they attacked Ukraine in 2022, they did not have that much knowledge. That's why their blitzkrieg failed. But now they also have swarms of drones, different kinds of them. Like literally my city was visited by more than 50 of them during a night less than a week ago. And my city is just like less than 200 kilometers away from Lublin, which is in Poland. and 80 kilometers from the Polish border. And Poland borders Belarus, lots of Baltic countries border Belarus. So let's be realistic. And actually, I noticed this shift and this warning that NATO will strike Kaliningrad sounds very different from the traditional escalation management. Don't you do that because we don't like it. There were rumors that Trump advised Zelensky to strike Moscow and St. Petersburg. Now, he said he didn't, but with Trump, you never know. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about that? And I personally believe that NATO with Ukraine is way stronger than Russia with North Korea and Iran. China can abandon them when problems and sanctions get more serious, so that's our task to work on that. And to understand what awaits Russia and what is this maximum victory plan for any Ukrainian and any person coming from the prison of the Soviet Union, watch my most popular video now on the new channel Anna Danilchuk about the dissolution of the Russian Federation that has already started. And let me know, what do you think about this NATO's response, and actually, how likely is that that Russia can attack any NATO country to test the alliance, to demonstrate that some countries feel different than the others in, let's say, the coming year? Let me know. I always read your comments very attentively. And subscribe to my Instagram. I'm sharing more of the everyday life there, to my Threads, Discord, X, and Blue Sky. All the links in the description of this video, same as the link to our merch shop with lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And it's super important when you speak about our fight, when you remind people that Russia can and will be defeated. So we are doing our job in Ukraine, and you are supporting this truth, this justice, literally in every corner of the world. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. That's an honor and gives me opportunity to film more. That's why I have 2 channels now. Subscribe to Anna Danilchuk too. And most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!